feel very tall up here. So good afternoon, founders and entrepreneurs. Actually, entrepreneur. Sorry, I can't get myself to say that with an English accent. You're going to have to bear with me. So first, I want to thank Arnaud for inviting representative of the angel ecosystem here in London, because that's a part of the ecosystem that's actually almost as important, I think, in VC, especially in Europe. And for whoever has been a founder here, I think you know what I'm talking about. It's actually pretty hard to get that money here, specifically compared to the US. So my name is Arnaud Loiseau. I'll talk to you about me a bit later. But first, I want to explain what we're doing at Harvard Business School Alumni Angels of London. Quite a mouthful. The reason for that is that we're the London chapter of a global network of angels that happen to be affiliated with Harvard University. So the way this works is it started in San Francisco in 2007. That was the first chapter. And now we're in 15 locations all over the world, including India, China, Japan now, and Paris, and most recently London. Two objectives for this angel network. So we're all volunteers, so we're not professional investors, but we're very passionate with this. We have very, very experienced investors within our networks. The first part of the mission is to educate angels, so people who want to become angels and learn through networking events with experienced angel investors, and also through educational events that we throw. And most importantly, we have a bunch of forums, mostly pitch events, can be quarterly, can be every month, where we bring together angels and entrepreneurs. So what does that mean for you concretely? So in London, we started the chapter in 2011, actually late 2011, so it's been only 18 months. And our angels have already invested £4 million across 13 companies, which makes us one of the most active angel networks in London and probably in Europe. That's interesting. That's capital. What's more interesting is that we have some experienced angels with us. We're lucky to have an advisory board, Sherry Coutu, Tom Hulme, and Alex Hoy, who are very experienced angel investors. So we learn from them. And then what we do concretely for people like you is that every quarter we organize a pitch event, where we select 4 companies, usually out of 100 or 150 submissions that we get every quarter. And what we do is we put you in front of 100 angel investors, right? So think about that. That's 25-to-1 ratio. Potential angels, 2 founders, quite different from what we have here. For example, 1-to-10, right? So that's usually, which is the usual ratio you get. The other thing we do is educational events, so that's less of concern for you, but that's interesting because we teach new angels to become, bigger angels, and we explain to them things like tax incentives. Sounds very boring, but it's interesting. It saves you time. You don't have to explain why, what's CDIS, what's EIS. We have already done that for you, so you can concentrate on your pitch and your idea. And then the second thing that's of interest for you working with us is that we don't necessarily invest just on our own, so we can do that. As I said, we've invested £4 million. The average investment was £330,000 per company, which is fairly significant for Europe. But we've worked also with VC funds. We've invested with Passion Capital, with Dawn Capital, with micro VCs like 500 startups. And so we're fairly agnostic, and we want to help people getting off the ground. So we invest very early. We can do something like 50 to 100K. We can invest all the way up to 1 million, which we've done with some VC funds. So we're fairly agnostic in that sense. So what do we bring to the table apart from money and apart from those experienced angels and creating more angels? Well, we bring the Harvard University network. So we have a chapter in New York, in San Francisco, here in London. So we're able to bring you the advice wherever it is. Sometimes it could be getting funded in San Francisco or in London, or it could be New York, or it could be finding an angel. We will have contact for clients to develop you for a sector that's in the US or that's in Europe. So we can do that. And the last thing that's of interest for us is that I think I've raised money in a seed round in the US, and there's anywhere between 6 to 9 billion. The numbers vary in the US in terms of angel money. That is not anywhere near what's happening here, right? So I think it's important that people like us try to just get this developed faster than or as fast as it can be. And that's, you can wait for the big exits that will happen. There are a lot of 1 billion plus companies that will happen in the pipeline in the US, and then those people we'll reinvest that money as angels, but you actually need money right now, right? So how do we do that? How do we get people to get money in your hands right now? So that's kind of what we want to be doing. And I think I'm done. In terms of me, I was once a coder. A long time ago, I studied as an engineer at École Polytechnique. Never really got to code that much after that. Went to work in corporate development, both for investment banks and doing M&A in technology and in media. Did 2 IPOs as a corporate venture investor in China, and started my own startup, co-founded it in the US 2 years ago in social TV. So I've been on both sides, and more than happy to talk to you guys today or later. And please come and see us and get money.